Hi, in this video tutorial, we're going to compare creating a rectangle using the rectangle tool. In a previous video, we created a rectangle using the line tool. And there are different reasons why you might want to use a line tool or a rectangle tool, which we'll review as we go through all the different components of this assignment. All right, to get started, however, I want to direct your attention to the bottom of the screen, to your settings. If you have your settings shown as icons here, I would like for you to change that so that it reads as words instead of pictures. The way to do that is to hover your mouse, which means simply move your mouse over any one of these icons, right mouse click with your mouse. You'll see this mini menu. Please pick on the words Use Icons. It will unselect that preference, and then you'll be able to see the words. Okay, what you'll need to have picked are Ortho, OSNAP, OTRAC, and DYN, which stands for Dynamic Input. You'll know that they're selected when they look illuminated or a light blue color. When they're toggled off, in other words, when they're turned off, they'll be a gray color. Okay, next thing is, let's look at the object we created in the previous video. When your command line is empty, and the command line is located just below this black model space area where we do all of our drafting. And it actually says command, so it should be easy to identify. When the command line is empty, in other words, there's no active command in progress, you can use what is known as grips. When you pick on a line segment, it will show you these little blue boxes. Those are what we refer to as grips. Okay? Grips are a great way to quickly modify an object on the fly. So for example, I can pick from one of these end grips and drag the line segment out. Now the line segment is longer. I'm going to go up here to my back arrow and undo that. Alternatively, I can grip the same line segment and pick from the middle grip, and I can move a line segment, which is also very useful. Okay, I'm going to undo that arrow. Now let's get ready to compare this 4-segment rectangle with a rectangle using the rectangle command. Okay, so there are 3 ways to initiate this tool. You can do it from the icon, which is located on the Home tab and the Draw palette. You can type in the whole word, rectangle. You have to be a good typist and know how to spell to use this command. I'm going to hit Escape, or you can input the abbreviation of rectangle, REC, enter, and that will get you the same place, Escape. I'm going to go to the first option, which is the icon located on the Draw palette on the Home tab. And what I like about this is if you just hover your mouse, again, not picking, you just move your mouse over the top of the icon, each of these commands are explained to you with a picture. I think this is just really incredibly helpful. So now let's pick on this icon. And then the beginning student should get used to training their eye to look at the command line. Every single time you start a command, AutoCAD will prompt you step by step with the input it needs to accomplish the command. So directing your attention to the command line, it says specify first corner point. That means we can pick anywhere on the screen. So I just did that. Next, read the command line again. Since we just did something, look back to the command line. It says specify other corner point. Now that means I can gently drag my mouse towards me or away from me. See, if I drag it towards me, it makes the box go this way. I could arbitrarily pick a point on the screen, but since I know I am drawing a 2D queen size bed, it has to be specific dimensions. All right, so let's look to the command line to see how we might make it a specific size. Okay, the command line says specify other corner point, or in square brackets it gives us 3 options or 3 variables to choose from. We can define the area of a rectangle if we know its area, and that would be A, enter, if we wanted that choice. Or we could define the rectangle by its dimensions if we knew those, which we do. And if we already have a rectangle, but we need to change its rotation angle, we could type in R, enter. We're not done with this rectangle yet. See, it's not quite formed. So we either need to pick option A, area, or option D, dimensions. And since we know that a queen size bed is 6 feet 8 by 5 feet 0, I'm going to type in D, enter. That takes us to the next step. Don't be alarmed that the rectangle momentarily disappeared. We need to specify the length of the rectangle. So I'm going to type in 5 feet 0 and 6 feet 8 for the width. Okay, so now it reappears on our screen. It looks like it's the right dimension. If I compare it to the rectangle from the previous video, which was also a 2D queen size bed, they look pretty similar. Okay, but let's look at our command line to finish this command. Specify other corner point, or we can modify it through area, dimension, or rotation again. I think I'm done here, so I'm just going to left mouse pick on the screen, and that ends my command. And I know I've ended the command accurately because my object's still on the screen and the command line is empty and ready for the next command again. So let's see what happens. Let's draw one more right next to it. So I'm going to read my command line, specify first corner point, pick, gently pull my mouse towards me. Let's pick dimensions again, D, enter. Whatever I input for my last dimensions or what the default is now, defaulted values are in alligator brackets. So you can see at the bottom of the screen, the length for the rectangle is still 5 feet. That's good, so I'm just going to hit enter. I don't need to change that. Specify width of the rectangle is still set at 6 feet 8 inches. I don't need to change that, so I'm going to hit enter. Now, if I pick on the screen, my rectangle will stay. If I hit enter, the command doesn't close. I can hit enter all day long and nothing happens. If I hit escape to end the command, which is how we sometimes end commands in AutoCAD, the object disappears. The only way to finish the command for this particular command is to pick on the screen. So I hope that will save you a lot of frustrating moments just trying to finish a rectangle. Before we end this video tutorial, I think it would be useful to use the distance tool to measure the rectangle we just created. So the distance tool, just to refresh your memory, is located on the Home tab, but on the Inquiry palette. And the way the distance tool works is AutoCAD wants you to specify 2 points on the screen, 1, 2, and it will tell you what the distance between those 2 points is. So that horizontal line segment from endpoint to endpoint, which is why we need to have the O-snaps on, is defined as 5 feet 0 inches long. Okay. So let's do the distance command again. And the shortcut command for the keyboard is DI, enter, if you don't want to use the icons. And here we are, that length is 6 feet 8 inches. So we've done a good job. And you're free to proceed to the next video. Thank you so much.